Warden, I am not surprised it has come to this. And Alistair, if you were even remotely worthy of being called Merrick's son, you would already be in the Landsmeet, now wouldn't you? You have torn Ferelden apart to oppose the very man who ensured you were born into freedom. But do not think you will get past me to desecrate the Landsmeet itself. The nobles of Ferelden will confirm my lord as regent, and we can finally put this to rest once you are gone.
How can you support the man who killed your king?
Cailan was a fool. He grew up a spoiled child in his ancestors' palace. He never knew what it was to be hunted, to starve. Maybe the Grey Wardens killed him, or maybe my lord let him die of his own foolishness. Either way, it may have saved Ferelden.
So now you admit Loghain may have killed him?
I am not so blind as you think, Warden. I saw the tension between Cailan and Loghain. My lord is a man of fierce passions, none fiercer than defending this land. If Cailan threatened that, but whatever he did, it was only in defense of Ferelden.
How do you justify letting All How torture his subjects?
You think war is simple, don't you, Warden? You only fight monsters. No one sheds a tear over the death of an ogre. Torture is an ugly business. But sometimes it's the only way to learn what your enemy intends. And it is much harder to tell who the enemy is when all of them look like you.
To support his war, he sold his own people into slavery.
What was he supposed to do? You and Eamon were harassing him at every side, forcing him to empty the treasury to fight you. He never wanted a civil war. After Cailan died, everyone was supposed to rally, come together to fight the Darkspawn without crying to Orlais for aid. He never anticipated Merrick's bastard would challenge the throne and force this war.
Stop talking and show me what you can do with that thing.
I can end the threat you pose to Ferelden. To arms, men!
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it. You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings.
Ah! Here we have the puppeteer.
Tell us, Warden, how will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? What do they offer you? How much is the price of Ferelden honor now?
Yes, let's talk about loyalty to Alistair, your king.
I knew Merrick. And if he had another son, he would have acknowledged it openly. In fact, none of us had heard of any other heirs to the throne until you arrived, Warden. I doubt that's accidental.
You expect us to believe a man who sold elves as slaves?
What? Sold elves? Explain this.
There is no saving the alienage. Damage from the riots has yet to be repaired. There are bodies still rotting in their homes. It is not a place I would send my worst enemy. There is no chance of holding it if the Blight comes here. Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done my duty. Whatever my regrets may be for the elves, I have done what was needed for the good of Ferelden.
Was sending an apostate to poison Eamon your duty as well?
I assure you, Warden, if I were going to send someone, it would be my own soldiers. I would not trust to the discretion of an apostate.
Indeed, my brother tells a very different tale. He says you snatched a blood mage from the Chantry's justice. Coincidence?
Do not think the Chantry will overlook this, Terran Loghain. Interference in a Templar's sacred duties is an offense against the Maker.
Whatever I have done, I will answer for later. At the moment, however, I wish to know what this Warden has done with my daughter.
We're discussing your crimes here.
You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Ferelden, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
Listen to Honora. Loghain is power mad.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Honora. I wanted to protect you from this.
My lords and ladies! Our land has been threatened before! It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
The Warden! I'm with the Warden. Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden!
Western Hills is with you, Loghain. Maker help us.
I stand by Loghain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
The Landsmeet is against you, Loghain. Step down gracefully.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once, before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me?
If you want to fight, Loghain, you'll get one!
For Ferelden!
In the Maker's name, stop! We will have order.
Agreed. Let there be no further bloodshed in the Landsmeet.
Alistair's right to the throne is challenged. His challenger's honor is in doubt. In the past, such disputes were settled by duel. Will the Landsmeet agree?
Yes, if it will avoid further bloodshed. But it must be fought according to tradition, by strength of arms only, in single combat until one party yields. Do you accept the terms?
Alistair accepts. I will be his champion.
It is you or me the men will follow. So, let us fight for it. Prepare yourself.
Time for more practice. Let's do this quickly, shall we?
I underestimated you, Warden. I thought you were like Kalen, a child wanting to play at war. I was wrong. There's a strength in you that I have not seen anywhere since Marek died. I yield.
You'll die for what you've done.
Wait, there is another option. Batean is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining.
You want to make him a warden. Why?
There are 3 of us in all of Ferelden, and there are compelling reasons to have as many wardens on hand as possible to deal with the Archdemon.
The joining itself is often fatal, is it not? If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not! Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you! How can we simply forget that?
No, Loghain has to die for his crimes.
You can't do this. My father may have been wrong, but he is still a hero to the people.
Honora. Hush. It's over.
Stop treating me like a child. This is serious.
Daughters never grow up, Honora. They remain 6 years old with pigtails and skinned knees forever.
Father.
Just make it quick, Warden. I can face the Maker knowing that Ferelden is in your hands.
Very well.
So it is decided. Alistair will take his father's throne.
Wait, what? No! When did this get decided? Nobody's decided that. Have they?
So much for our plan to rule together. If Alistair would rather not have the throne, I am more than willing to take it.
I hardly think you're the appropriate person to mediate this, Honora. Warden, will you help us?
I need to talk to Alistair first.
Strange. I feel like I'm back at the Abbey, trying not to get chosen last for the sparring teams.
What makes you a better choice than Honora?
This wasn't exactly my first choice when we got to Denerim, but I know what we're up against. I know what's at stake. Honora's got experience handling nobles and foreign dignitaries, but I do know a few things about fighting Darkspawn.
And you're willing to give up your freedom?
If that's the price of ending the Blight, it's my duty as a Grey Warden.
Do you think you're ready to be king?
Are there people who are ready for that sort of thing? But I guess if it comes down to it, I'll do my best. Oh, I think my stomach just twisted up in a knot or something.
Should I choose Honora?
She seems to want it, anyway. I know I don't. So... yes? Maybe? I don't know.
I want to talk to Honora as well.
Certainly.
What makes you a better choice than Alistair?
Surely that's not a serious question. I have been the ruler of this nation in all but name for the last 5 years. I can lead Ferelden. Alistair can't. If you give him the crown, then you've only brought us a brief pause in the Civil War. It will resume again at the first opportunity, and it won't end until a new dynasty holds power.
You don't know that. He'll have my help, and Eamon's.
And he'll need it. He can't hold the throne on his own, and every soul here knows it. Opportunists will forever be watching him, waiting to grab power.
Are you prepared for this? Are you sure it's what you want?
I have never had the smallest doubt.
Who do you think I should choose?
Warden, there's no doubt on this subject. Alistair would be a disastrous king. I can lead Ferelden. I have proven this.
I'm ready to choose.
As the arbiter of this dispute, what is your decision? Who will lead Ferelden?
I believe Alistair and Honora plan to marry and rule jointly.
We do. I believe this is what King Merrick wanted. To see his blood tied to my father's to begin a new line of Ferelden kings.
But I mean, I did swear an oath. What I mean is, I'm all for founding a new line of kings. But, well, there's the Blight.
What the king is trying to say, my lords and ladies, is that he will be taking the field with his fellow Grey Warden to do battle with the Archdemon.
Yes. That.
Until then, I shall stay in Denerim and rule in my husband's absence, as I did for Kaelin. But I trust Alistair shall reach a more heroic ending.
My fellow Grey Warden will, I hope, take Loghain's place as the leader of my armies. Shall we finish this thing together?
I could do no less, my king.
Everyone, get ready to march! It's going to take all of Ferelden's strength to survive this blight. But we will face it, and we'll defeat it!
Ferelden is depending on you all.
You made me king. After all this is over with, they're actually going to put me on the throne. I'm going to be the king.
Congratulations on your engagement, by the way.
Congratulations? Congratulations? Why would you do this to me? How could you? I've done nothing but regret my blood since the day I was born. I don't want this. I never wanted this. I hate the very idea of it. I thought we were friends. You knew how I felt about this, yet you went ahead and did it anyway. Why?
You'd prefer that Honora ruled on her own?
Yes. Well, no. She would have executed me, so that would have been bad. I just never thought of myself as a leader. I'm going to make a terrible king, you have to know that. How can I make decisions that are going to affect the lives of everyone in the kingdom? I guess I don't really have a choice in this now, do I? I'll do my best, of course, and I expect that you'll be there to help me, right?
If you want me there, of course I will.
Good. Then it's settled. Eamon has left for Redcliffe. He says the army has gathered there and is almost ready to march. As soon as we're ready, we should head to Redcliffe ourselves. The Blight awaits, right?
It's you, the Grey Warden. Andraste's mercy that you got here when you did. I thought for sure these monsters were going to get me.
What's happened? Where is everyone?
They all fled to the castle this morning, before the Darkspawn arrived. I thought I could make it to my home and back before they got here, but it took me too long to get down here. What a relief you arrived.
You should get to safety.
I'm going to get out of here before any more of those things arrive. Thank you again.
brushed with death to make you not like death much?
My lord, you're here. Thank goodness.
What's happened here?
I don't rightly know. Warden of the Grey Wardens arrived this morning, just ahead of the Darkspawn. I was told he has urgent news and to send out patrols to watch for your arrival. Then we were attacked.
Take me inside. There must be no more delays.
I should take you to the hall right away, my lord. They'll be waiting for you there.
It's a relief to see you unharmed. And you as well, Alistair. Or should I say your majesty?
No, I wouldn't say that. Not yet, anyway.
The Darkspawn that attacked Redcliffe were relatively few in number, I'm afraid. It was assumed the Horde was marching in this direction, but that is not true.
Warden tells us that the bulk of the Horde is in fact heading towards Denerim. They are perhaps 2 days away from the capital.
What? Are we sure about that? I mean, if that's true...
I ventured close enough to listen in, as it were. I am quite certain.
Then we need to march at once.
There is, I'm afraid, one other piece of news that is of even greater concern. The Archdemon has shown itself. The dragon is at the head of the Horde.
Maker preserve us.
But we can't reach Denerim within 2 days, can we? It's too far.
We must begin a forced march to the capital immediately with what we have. Denerim must be defended at all costs.
And what about Redcliffe? What if Riordan is wrong?
Redcliffe is fortified enough that a skeleton force can hold the wall should Darkspawn come.
Then you will remain here, Tegan, while we march on Denerim.
The Horde must be defeated, but the Archdemon is our true target, and only the Grey Wardens can defeat the Archdemon. That is why we must go.
Then we march, and hope the army we've collected here gives us the chance we need. Al-Eamon, how long before the army can set out?
By daybreak.
Then let's get them ready. I won't let all those people die without giving them a chance.
And just how are we supposed to defeat this Archdemon?
I was wondering that myself.
Then you don't know. Of course not. You're both new recruits. Duncan wouldn't have expected.
I will give the orders at once, and will notify you the moment we are ready to march.
That would be appreciated.
Perhaps you and Alistair should meet me before you retire for the evening. There are things we need to speak of.
I will have someone show you to your rooms. I suggest you all get some rest while you can. We will need it.
And what word have we from Orzammar? Has House Claret sent their men or haven't they?
They're stalling, which is as good as a no. House Claret's feud with House Romald has flared up again since their son died in that Deep Roads business. So naturally they're pleading the need for self-defense.
Huh. Fine time to start with that nonsense again. I've half a mind to... Evening to you, Grey Warden. I didn't realize you were still up and about.
Is there a problem with the Dwarven forces?
Nothing that can be dealt with now, I'm afraid. Just one of the houses being thicker than the stone that made them.
Once all of this blight business is done, there will be a reckoning in the Assembly. They're probably half hoping we'll all wind up dead. That way they'll have one of the strongest forces left in Orzammar. Enough to face the Darkspawn all on their own, I suppose? That's exactly the kind of half-arsed thinking that got us into the mess after Endrin passed. It was our good fortune that you decided to go to Orzammar when you did, Grey Warden. For all that a surfacer needed our help, I expect we needed yours more.
Shouldn't you all be resting?
Resting? Who can rest after the march we had just getting here? You tall races have it so easy.
That and we're kept up thinking about the coming battle.
Are things truly that desperate? Do we stand a chance of losing?
We will find a way to win. We must.
I hope you're right. Under the open sky is a terrible place to consider dying, that's for sure.
Right. Off to camp with both of you, and keep the drunkenness to a minimum. We have a long way to go yet. Pleasant evening to you, Grey Warden, and good fortune on the field of battle.
Ah, fancy meeting you here. I heard rumors that Redcliffe was once again open for business, but my word, isn't this amazing? Such bustle. The Earl has kindly offered my son and I lodgings in exchange for supplies. I'm happy to help him. And you too, of course. If you have need of my wares, you have but to ask.
Have you heard any rumors?
Of all the strange news, everyone is talking about some brother in Denerim claiming that the urn of sacred ashes has been found. Actually found. I understand the Chantry is a bit skeptical and probably won't get a chance to deal with the brother's claim until after the war is ended. But it's incredible even so, don't you think?
You're both here. Good. Please know I assumed you had already been told. Otherwise I would have told you this when you freed me in Denerim. I'm sorry.
What is it? What are you apologizing for?
Tell me, have you ever wondered why the Grey Wardens are needed to defeat the Darkspawn?
I assume it has something to do with the taint in us.
That is exactly what it involves. The Archdemon may be slain, as any other Darkspawn, but should any other than a Grey Warden do the slaying, it will not be enough. The essence of the beast will pass through the taint to the nearest Darkspawn and will be reborn anew in that body. The dragon is thus all but immortal. But if the Archdemon is slain by a Grey Warden, its essence travels into the Grey Warden instead.
And what happens to the Grey Wardens?
The Darkspawn is an empty, soulless vessel, but a Grey Warden is not. The essence of the Archdemon is destroyed, and so is the Grey Warden.
Meaning the Grey Warden who kills the Archdemon dies?
Yes. Without the Archdemon, the Blight ends. It is the only way.
Then I will take that final blow myself.
It warms my heart to see such courage. But do not hurry so to sacrifice your life. If possible, the final blow should be mine to make. I am the eldest, and the taint will not spare me much longer. But if I fail, the deed falls on you. The Blight must be stopped now, or it will destroy all of Ferelden before the rest of the Grey Wardens can assemble. Remember that. But enough. There will be much to do tomorrow, and little enough time to rest before it. I will let you return to your rooms.
I will see you once the army is ready to march, then. I guess this ends soon. One way or another.
That it does, my friend. That it does.
Do not be alarmed. It is only I.
Morrigan, is everything all right?
I am well. 'Tis you who are in danger. I have a plan, you see. A way out. The loop in your hole. I know what happens when the Archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be.
Does not need to be? What do you mean?
I offer a way out. A way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual. Performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night.
Just what sort of ritual is this?
It is old magic. From a time before the Circle of Magi was created. Some would call it blood magic. But I think recent days have taught you this is not always to be feared.
And from where did you get this ritual, Morrigan?
From Flemeth, of course. I have known about it for some time.
So you knew about the sacrifice before Riordan told me?
I did. Would you have believed me if I had been the one to tell you? I have my doubts.
Then tell me more.
What I propose is this. Lay with me, here tonight, and from our joining, a child will be conceived. The child will bear the taint, and when the Archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish. The Archdemon is still destroyed with no Grey Warden dying in the process.
You want to have my child?
Think about what I offer you. The chance to avoid death. Or better yet, the chance to slay the Archdemon and live as a hero. No Grey Warden has ever done this. In return, I conceive a child. One who will be born with the soul of an old god. After this is done, you allow me to walk away. And you do not follow. Ever. The child will be mine to raise as I wish.
Wait. I want to know more about this child.
As you wish.
The child won't be hurt, will it?
Ignoring that after but one night it could barely be called a child, no, it will not be hurt. It will be changed.
Will the child be evil? What will it become?
Allow me to say that what I seek is the essence of the old god that once was, and not the dark forces that corrupted it. Some things are worth preserving in this world. Make of that what you will.
What do you intend to do with this child?
I do not wish to tell you.
I insist. I need to know what you plan.
The child will represent freedom. For an ancient power, a chance to be reborn apart from the taint. Is that not reason enough to do it? I will raise the child apart from the rest of society and teach it to respect that from which it came. Beyond that, you need know nothing else.
This is going to be my child. Will I ever see it?
No, you never will. This is all I ask in return for freeing you from the burden the Grey Wardens have placed upon you.
I see. Enough about the child, then.
Then you have decided?
How do you even know this will work?
This is what my mother intended when she sent me with you. She was the one who first gave me this ritual and told me of what I was meant to do. This does not surprise you, does it? Did you not wonder why Flemeth saved your life? Why she aided you? This is why. What is important is that I am offering this to you now. It will work, and it will save your life.
You don't think I will actually go through with this?
Why? Because of Leliana? Do you truly believe that she would condemn you or any other Grey Warden to death when it could be avoided? Consider the possibility that Riordan may not be there to make the final blow as he plans. What then? Do you run away? Do you let Alistair, the future King of Ferelden, take the blow instead? And what if he does not make it to the Archdemon either? Would you truly choose death rather than lay with me for one night? Would you deny yourself the tomorrows and all its rewards?
All right, I agree. I'll do it.
A wise decision. Come to me then, and we shall make this last night together something to remember.
We have gathered all the forces we can. The Darkspawn Horde is sure to reach the capital before us. And so we must race to Denerim as quickly as we can. The lives of many thousands hang in the balance. We must not forsake them. You have gathered an army to replace the one lost at Ostagar, Grey Warden. Let us pray that it will be enough.
Before us stands the might of the Darkspawn Horde. Gaze upon them now, but fear them not. The man beside me is a native of Ferelden, now risen to the ranks of the Grey Wardens. He is proof that glory is within reach of us all. He has survived despite the odds, and without him, none of us would be here. Today, we save Denerim. Today, we avenge the death of my brother King Kaelan. But most of all, today, we show the Grey Wardens that we remember and honor their sacrifice. For Ferelden, for the Grey Wardens!
You've managed to fight your way to the gates. We're doing better than I hoped.
That will change quickly.
Bloody nug runners. We're outnumbered 3 to 1.
What are we to do now, Warden? You have a plan, I assume?
The army will not last long, so we need to move quickly to reach the Archdemon. I suggest taking Alistair and no more than 2 others with you into the city. Anyone you don't bring with you can remain here to prevent more Darkspawn from entering Denerim on our tails.
How are we going to fight a flying dragon?
We're going to need to reach a high point in the city. I'm thinking the top of Fort Draken might work.
The top of... You want to draw the dragon's attention?
We have little choice, though I warn you that as soon as we engage the beast, it will call all its generals to help it. I can sense 2 generals in Denerim. You may wish to seek them out before going to Fort Draken.
I am sure that if we did slay those generals, it would stop the Darkspawn in the city from doing a lot of harm.
It may also waste resources trying to find them. The decision is up to you.
Do you know where these generals are?
Neither of them are near Fort Draken currently. There are too many Darkspawn here to tell you more. There are already several units of our allies within the city by now. They may be able to come to your assistance if you call them, but their strength will be limited. Now, who do you wish to take with you into the city? Fair enough. Anyone else will need to remain here and assist in keeping more Darkspawn from coming in the gates behind us. Who will lead them?
Sten would be suitable.
Very likely.
Good. That should be sufficient. Nothing you have done has prepared you for what you face now. May the Maker watch over you.
So this is it then. All that we've been through has led up to this. Whatever happens now, to either of us, know that I am proud, infinitely proud, to have called you friend. Farewell, and may the Maker watch over you.
So, this is it.
It has been an honor to fight with you, Oghren.
Honor? Nobody's looked at me and seen honor in a long time, Warden. You took in a drunken disgrace of an Orzammar warrior. You gave me a reason to fight, and the will to keep going. You helped me find the one woman in the sodding world who might put up with me. And you helped me get past Branca so I could have someone new. I owe you a lot, Warden. I consider it a fine honor to die for you and your cause.
We'll make it through this, Oghren.
We might, and we might not. I'm betting on not. Let the stone turn red from the blood of heroes. Today, I will be the warrior you taught me to be.
So the Archdemon is next, is it? Part of me is glad that it has decided to leave me here at the gate, but the other part is apprehensive. I would almost say that I feel concern for something other than myself, even maybe for a soft, squishy companion. But that would be silly, wouldn't it?
Thank you, Shale. I appreciate the thought.
And, do try not to get swallowed whole. If the beast were to fly about afterwards and poop it out, irony would dictate that it would land on me. I couldn't take it. Well then, I suppose this is it. Have fun storming the castle.
Don't worry, boy. I'll be back.
Are you ready? We have reached the battlefield at last.
Thank you for your help, Stan.
I have done nothing. You have carried us this far. Do not doubt that.
So here we part ways. You do not wish me to stand by you in the end?
Not this time, my friend.
Let me wish you well, and may we shake hands again in victory when all of this is done.
So we head into the city together. As it should be. Once this is done, no matter how it turns out, I will be gone. You are aware of this, yes?
I will find you, Morrigan. I swear it.
I do not think that would be wise. Allow me to say only one thing before we go.
I knew nothing of friendship before we met. And I will always consider you such. Live well, my friend. Live gloriously. Now, let us see this finally done. The Archdemon awaits.
Before we head after the Archdemon, I want to say something. Either we both die trying to kill it, or one of us dies making the final blow. Either way, both of us aren't walking out of here. So I just want you to know that it's been an honor fighting by your side.
I feel the same. You've been a good friend.
Let's find this Archdemon then, and kick its ass.
So this is it? This is the end? We've come so far. It's strange knowing that all our fates will be decided in a matter of hours. We stand on the precipice before the greatest battle of our age. I wonder if the heroes of old ever felt like this.
Probably.
I am not afraid. We go to fight for a good cause, and there is nowhere else I would rather be. You are my dearest friend and my love. You lit my path through darkness, and I will stand with you to whatever end. This day, we will forge a legend of our own.
Maker sure gave you the gift of good timing, didn't he? There's a large group of Darkspawn approaching and the gates won't hold. We need your help.
I'll handle this. Get yourselves to safety.
All right. I only hope there is time to...
They're breaking through!
Run! All of you! Run for your lives! You saved many lives here today. Thank you. Please, take this. I pray it helps you in your coming battles. We have to go. May the Maker watch over you.
Beware! A large group of Darkspawn have broken away from the battle. They're charging this way. They'll be here any minute.
So be it.
We defeated them. We defeated them.
And then, it was over. With the Archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come. But the Blight had been ended before it had truly begun. Ferelden had been saved, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its new king and queen. Grey Warden stood redeemed, and a new age had begun. But at what cost?
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Of those who stood against the Darkspawn siege of Denerim, there is one in particular who deserves commendation. The one who led the final charge against the Archdemon remains with us still. An inspiration to all he saved that day. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the hero of Ferelden. The first Grey Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago. My friend, it is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. Is there any boon that you might request of Ferelden's king? If it is within my power, I will grant it.
I only wish to continue to serve the crown, Your Majesty.
Then I hereby appoint you Chancellor to serve as my advisor in the years to come. Maker knows I'll need it. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arl Howe, is now granted to the Grey Wardens. There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. What are your plans? I assume that, as Chancellor, you'll be remaining here in Denerim.
I think I will travel, at least for a time.
I don't suppose the Grey Wardens are really in a position to stop you, are they? But let me say, I hope your travels bring you back this way soon. Don't be a stranger. There's a group of Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you're ready. So, we made it. I'm impressed, aren't you? The odds were completely against one of us actually getting to the Archdemon. But of course you would make it. I knew you would. I just don't understand how you're still alive. I guess Riordan was wrong?
Morrigan saved me.
I had no idea. I suppose that makes sense. Speaking of Morrigan, do you know where she went? I'm told she vanished right after the battle. No goodbyes or anything.
I don't know where she went, but I'll find her.
Good riddance, I say. At any rate, I can see Arleman giving me that look. More king stuff, I suppose. I can never wait. And if I don't get the chance some other time, thanks. For everything.
This is hardly goodbye.
You're leaving, aren't you? And I'm not. I guess we'll see how things play out. But this certainly feels like an ending. At least for now. I'll let you get to your adoring public. They want to see the hero of Ferelden, and who am I to keep them waiting?
Allow me to offer you my personal congratulations, Warden. I must admit that while I did not share my father's pessimism regarding the Grey Wardens, I had my doubts that such a small number of you could be victorious. Yet here you are.
Damn right.
Normally I would call that bravado, but it seems your confidence is deserved. Tell me something. Is Alistair always like that?
Like what?
Well, He answers every serious question with a jest. Is that normal? I have yet to hear him speak on any matter more serious than what the cooks are making for dinner. I fear my initial suspicions will prove correct. Oh well. His heart is in the right place. In that he reminds me of Kalen, which is no failing. Now I see Al Eamon gesturing to me. There is more work to be done. I must take my leave of you, I fear. Enjoy the rest of the celebration, Warden. I shall speak to you again before the day is done.
When I heard that my little brother was not only a Grey Warden, but also leading Ferelden into battle, I was surprised, to put it mildly, Father. He would have been so proud of you. I know I am. You've done good.
What happened to you, Fergus?
I never made it to the battle at Ostergard. We were still scouting in the wilds when we were attacked by a party of Darkspawn. Most of my men were killed. I woke up 2 weeks later in a chase-in hut, wounded and feverish. By the time I was able to sneak out of the wilds, you were already marching to Denerim. I tried to get word to Highever. You can imagine what happened, I suppose.
Hal paid for what he did. I killed him myself.
Hal was a greedy, traitorous bastard. I just wish I'd been there to help you kill him. At least Amaranthine now belongs to the Grey Wardens. There's some justice in that, I think. I need to go back to Highever. See if I can clean up the mess Hal made of it. I will see you soon, I hope.
Of course you will.
Good. Highever won't be the same without everyone around. Take care of yourself, you hear? Or I'll find you and nag you like Mother did until you're ready to tear out your hair.
It is over. I can barely believe it. You stopped the Civil War and then defeated the Blight. On behalf of Ferelden, allow me to say thank you. It truly cannot be said enough.
I'm a Grey Warden. That's what we do.
So I'm learning. It's too bad that you aren't remaining here in the capital. The hero of Ferelden would have influence, but I understand. Myself, I will be returning to Redcliffe. There is much to rebuild there, and since you are to be Chancellor, there is no need for me to remain. Connor misses his mother, but he seems well enough. The young are so resilient. I will need to send him to the Circle of Magi, however. There is no way around it. Perhaps he will become a Grey Warden one day. Tell me, have you noticed anything strange about the lad? He seems quiet.
Consider what he's been through.
You are no doubt correct. It is my imagination, I am sure. But here I am rambling on. I shall let you get back to your celebration, Warden. Enjoy it while you can.
So it survived after all. My impression that all creatures made of flesh were hopelessly squishy was, premature.
You're right about most people.
No doubt. It has proven to me, however, that fleshiness does not automatically mean squishiness. It has made me revise my opinion of its kind, my kind. I am, or at least was, a dwarf. A creature of flesh. I have to keep reminding myself that. In fact, I think I may even try to become one again.
Come again?
Wynne has offered to accompany me to Tevinter to speak with the mages there. The Circle of Minrathrus has the largest collection of arcane knowledge in Thedas. If it is possible to reverse this process, then the knowledge to do so will be there, or that is my hope. And if not, then I will keep looking. I have nothing if not time, yes?
Then good luck.
I intend to return eventually, unless I finally decide to destroy all pigeons everywhere. That may take a while, but otherwise I will come back. If it happens to one day see a tiny little dwarf who appears very nervous of being squished, that will be me. Until then, I wish it well. You have been a fine friend.
I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you.
A bloodbath sounds like a fun idea.
You see? This is why I like you. Always game for a little fun. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker. While fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you are planning on leaving soon. Is that true?
That is indeed what I said.
And would you consider some company? You tend to get up to interesting things. You meet interesting people and then you kill them. I'm game to tag along if you are.
It's not like we won't meet again.
Fate does have an odd way of meddling in our affairs. Sad as I am to part company from you, I have a feeling it won't be for good. Well then, I suppose I shall be leaving soon. Perhaps Parvolan. The Qunari are pleasant folk, I hear. I hope fate decrees we meet again. Bon niviati, as we say back home. Drink well and be merry. Life is good.
The hero of Ferelden. My. How does it feel?
Well deserved.
I suppose it is at that. A blight defeated with the other nations barely becoming aware. Who could ask for better?
I didn't do it on my own.
I don't think many heroes ever do. I'm glad not to be on the receiving end of all this attention myself. I say, let the young have their fame. Not that I've gone without notice. Irving asked me to take over as first enchanter, but I don't wish to go back. Not after all this. Instead, I've decided to travel. Shale has expressed a desire to go to Devinter to look into a way to regain her mortality. And I will join her.
Sounds like fun.
It seems you and I will see each other in court as well. I look forward to it. For now, I imagine the hero of Ferelden still has much to do. Good luck.
Humans have a better taste for spirits than I thought. The ale up here is actually good. Orzammar ale tastes like dirt in comparison. Probably because they put dirt in it. Go figure.
Enjoying yourself already, I see.
After what we went through, I think I've earned it. I think you've earned it. So I guess you're heading off soon, huh? Leaving the city?
That's the plan.
I'm thinking I'll stick around myself, at least for a bit. I'm getting used to that big sky up there. And I'm thinking I might just look up Felsi again, see where that goes.
I'm glad. I hope you two are happy.
I'll drink to that. Ah, well, enough babbling. That pot-bellied son of a whore Tegan said I'd pass out before drinking an entire barrel of pickle juice. I aim to prove him wrong.
Don't ever change.
Who, me? It's been good traveling with you, Warden. Don't get lost in the shuffle now.
It is good to see you again, Kadan. These people, they call you hero. It is a strange word, but I think I understand its meaning. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Qunari to be Kunoran Vel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Qun. A living Kunoran Vel would be too proud.
Nothing wrong with a little pride.
I would argue, had you not ended a blight, for such an accomplishment there may be allowances. What the human custom has in common with our own is that the declaration of a Kunoran Vel is a cause for much celebration. It is one of few occasions when the Qunari are permitted to engage in revelry. There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
That would be quite a sight.
It is interesting. It can take days for the Ben Hasrath to restore order. There may even be executions. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
That will be a long trip home.
Yes. It will be difficult to travel alone, after so much time spent with companions. It must be said. You found my sword and gave me a chance to restore my honor. I owe you a great debt.
You helped me as well. It's been good.
It has. That one of the Baz, a foreigner, would become known as Kadan to me. Unthinkable. Yet here it is. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
So here we are. The conquering hero has won the day, and now he takes his bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
But does the hero get his girl?
Yes. Yes, he most certainly does. You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. The Maker sent me to help you, and look what you did. It's a miracle. It truly is. So, if I heard right, you'll be leaving soon. Any room for an extra body on your travels?
Only if it's you.
Good. Because there's nowhere I'd rather be than at your side. At any rate, I should let you get back to your celebration before someone drags you away. I look forward to seeing you again afterwards.
In the months that followed their wedding, Alistair and Honora fell into the routine of ruling Ferelden. Honora was a skilled governor, adept at matters of court and more than willing to spend her time judging matters of law from the throne. And Alistair was quite happy to let her do so. He traveled frequently, making personal appearances that delighted commoners to no end. As the Chancellor, Aidan was seen often at court, usually arguing with Queen Honora over matters of state. The former Grey Warden enjoyed King Alistair's full confidence, however, and thus great influence in running the kingdom. More than the Queen would like, probably. But she had little choice. News that the urn of sacred ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genevieve made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. They were located, however, in ruins that were also the lair of a high dragon, thus proving too dangerous to approach. Many made demands to secure the ashes so that followers could undertake pilgrimages to partake of their healing powers. Following numerous failed attempts to deal with the dragon, the beast finally flew off to find another haven. But leaving the mountaintop sanctum in ruins, an excavation found no traces of the urn. People began to doubt that the ashes had ever been found, while others claimed that a cult of Andraste's followers stole them from the temple. Still others say that the Maker himself removed the urn, deeming mankind unworthy of it. For now, what happened to the urn is simply unknown. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and First Enchanter Irving was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. The new king even named the local elder to his personal court. A scandal amongst the humans, but a sign of new hope to the elves. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Aemon returned to Redcliffe, beginning the long task of rebuilding. He found the village already bustling and eager to leave behind the memories of those terrible nights facing the undead. Connor was sent off to study at the Circle, and considering his earlier experiences, he excelled in his training and easily passed the harrowing to become a full mage. At his father's urging, Connor accepted a position in Tevinter to undertake formal study of the Fade. The Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new keeper, Lanaya, was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with human folk. As for the werewolves, now freed of their curse, they remained together and took the surname Wolf in memory of what they once were. They eventually became the most successful animal trainers in Thedas, and each year would gather to light a candle in memory of the lady who had loved them so well. In Orzammar, King Harrowmont found himself in a protracted battle against Balin's rebellion that left him unable to gain the stability he needed. The clan lords objected to many of his measures in the assembly, and only his efforts to increase the dwarves' isolation from the surface met with any success. In time, Harrowmont's health began to fail. Some claimed it was poison, while others said it was a flagging spirit. Either way, after a protracted illness, the king finally passed away. The wrangling in the assembly for a successor began almost immediately. The dwarven mage, Dagna, ultimately completed her studies at the rebuilt Circle Tower on the surface. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. This inspired mages from other parts of Thedas to establish a new circle of magi in Orzammar itself, one that had ready access to dwarven lyrium, and lies outside the chantry's power completely. The willingness of Orzammar to harbor apostates sparked outrage that began whispers that the divine was contemplating a new exalted march. Although the Anvil of the Void was destroyed, rumors about its location crept into Orzammar. Years later, thanks to the defeat of the Darkspawn on the surface, a few determined smiths managed to locate the anvil's remains. They examined the ruins of the anvil, and, upon returning to Orzammar with their findings, convinced the Shaperate to attempt to recreate Caridan's research. A new golem was created, bound with a spirit taken from the Fade. The golem immediately went insane, killing several Shapers before it was destroyed. The research was branded excessively dangerous and sealed away. Whispers of its existence circulated throughout Orzammar, however, and demand among the Smith caste to reopen Caridan's research refused to abate. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains. And she may even have been with child. There was no word of her after that. With Flemeth dead, or at least gone, the chances of tracking her down were slim indeed. One cannot help but wonder, however, what became of the child? What were Morrigan's plans? These questions must remain a mystery. For now. As for Aiden's companions, they went their separate ways. When Aiden finally left Denerim to continue his travels, Liliana went with him, electing to remain with the man she loved. They continued their adventures together. At least for a time. As the Blighted Lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthan, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving war bands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These war bands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais or crossed the Shining Sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Aiden sank his blade in the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of him, however.